going on, everyone? Kevin here for Channel Manaleak, running another Swiss Dragon's Maze or RTR block draft. I'm still learning the set, so this will probably be the last Swiss I do. I figured I wanted to play a Swiss, so I figured I'd just record it rather than play it and not record it. Beckon and Call seems pretty good, although to run both parts of it, it costs 8. I think Call is probably okay by itself. I'm not so sure about Beck. I don't think either one of those are. I don't think it's worth anything. But I gotta learn the price of these things too. Yeah, 0.1. So I'm not really 0.33. Too worried about that at all. Turn and Burn seems pretty good. The burn part of it is good all by itself. Other than that, Give and Take, it's okay. The rest of the deck isn't that amazing. I guess I'll just take Beck and Call and see if we get a chance to play with it. I don't think we want to be doing that. Protect and Serve goes with our color combination, and I think the Protect aspect of it is fine. It's a lot better than the Serve aspect, but even if we end up in white-blue, that's not too bad. What else we got here? Spike Jester, I think that's pretty okay. I'm not too worried about staying on color for Beck and Call, but I don't think Spike Jester's enough to get me off of it. Maze Glider seems pretty good. Abomination's alright. Rubble Belt Maka seems like probably the best card in this pack. I think. But for me, make sure Reap Intellect's not worth anything either. Yeah, half a ticket. I think I'm going to take Protect and Serve. My last draft I was another Protect and Serve. My last draft I was Grixis, black, red, blue, and it was fine. But that's what I've only done 2 drafts, one live, one online, and both times I ended up black, red, blue. So I kind of want to do something different. In this pack, Profit and Loss is pretty good. I guess I'm going to get all the split cards this time. Profit and Loss is pretty good. Another Protect and Serve. I don't really care that much about Maw. Ubulsar, Gatekeepers are good if you get a ton of gates, but we're not black. I think the best card in this pack is Punish the Enemy. This card seems really strong. Obviously it's not in our colors at all, but it is probably the best card here. I think I might pass it and just do another Protect and Serve. I'd kind of like to play some sort of Bant and see how that goes. Punish the Enemy is the best, but we'll run 2 Protect and Serves, I think. Okay, so here there's some decent cards. Thrashing Moss Dog seems very strong. Mastiff is okay if you're really, really aggressive. Or, I mean, it's okay for 2-2. It's 2-2 with upside. It's a bear for 2 with upside, which isn't terrible. The Simic Guildgate would be pretty good too. If the Thrashing Moss Dog wasn't here, I would snap up the Guildgate. But because the Thrashing Moss Dog is here, we're going to take that. Plus, we have no creatures right now. We only have 1 green card in the half of Beck. But this is by far the best card, so I'm going to take it over the Guildgate. Okay. Deputy of Acquittals, that's seems like a pretty strong card. Again, I think the Maka is probably the best or second best. I think Deputy might even be better than the Maka, but since we're still sticking with blue-white, that sounds like a winner to me. Very nice. It's nice to get rewarded with something like a Crisis Incubation with your 6th pick. It's kind of like an Arrest, but for 4. But Arrest for 3 is really good. Arrest for 4 is good. Plus, it does have the secondary ability. If you need to pull it off of their creature, you can, although you don't really want to be giving them 2+1/+1 counters. Or in a pinch, you could put it on your own creature, pull it off, and give them +1/+1. But either way, that's definitely the pick for us here. Again, a lot of Gatekeepers going around, which the black ones, which are good if you have a lot of gates. I mean, I've ran this card, I think, with 3 gates, and most of the time it's pretty tough to get going. Okay. Couple picks for us here, actually. I don't really love Maze Behemoth, so I would say that's not probably so much in the running. The Snare Squad is good if you're aggressive, which we may not be, but it's pretty good. I think in this format, because it's slowed down a bit, Flyers are quite a bit stronger. Obviously, Flyers are always strong, but now you can live long enough to play them. I think the strongest card's Tithe Drinker, but we're not black. I don't see any reason to try to get into black at this point. We've already passed a ton of black. So I would say it's between these 2 cards for us. And I'm going to take... I don't think we're going to be that aggressive on the ground, so I'm going to take the Windrake. Alright, I'll snap up a second Deputy of Acquittals here. I watched a Channel Fireball draft with LSV. Interestingly, he thinks Blast Virginia is pretty strong. The other guys drafting with him don't. I'm not red, so I'm not going to take it. It's not something I'm going to splash for, but if you have any thoughts on this card, let me know. I'm not too positive. Runner's Bane also seems pretty strong. It's probably between Runner's Bane and Deputy of Acquittals. I think probably a second Deputy of Acquittals is better. I probably want to get some more creatures, but this is pretty decent removal. But I want to get some play with these deputies and see how it goes. Another gatekeeper. So someone probably has about 4 of these and about 8 gates by now, maybe. Although we haven't seen a ton of gates, really. Neither of these clue stones really do what we're trying to do since we're not playing red. Maze Sentinel we could play, but I think it's probably the worst Sentinel. Probably. Mutant's Prey is a pit fight that's very conditional. I don't really want to run that. I'm going to take the Phantasm, and hopefully it'll give us a little bit of a late game reach by keeping us alive. It's not exciting at all, obviously, but I think all these cards are pretty bad for us. I think both of these cards are fine. The Mending Touch, I've seen people say it's okay as a trick. I guess I'll pull it, and if I absolutely have to play it, I will, but I do not want to. Alright, I'm not going to play any of these, and I think Weapon Surge is the best card, so I remove 1 trick. Alright, so clearly no one's playing these colors. I think Rot Farm Skeleton's probably the biggest pain, so I mean, I'll leave it up. I don't think we're going to jump into black at this point in time, and I'm not going to play probably any of these cards, but I guess we could play that one. I think all those cards are pretty bad. Alright, so I would say so far the deck looks okay, not exciting, but I think anytime you're pretty Azorius-y, you're probably not all that exciting. Alrighty. Not going to run a 5-alarm fire. This pack, again, is pretty strong for, I would say the person to our right must be white. White, not blue, because we've got a couple of these, but not really any other white cards. Just something to notice at the end of the first pack. A couple options here. I mean, Mugging's obviously really good. We're not red. Probably going to take the Syndic of Tithes here. Wasteland Viper's good. Agoraphobia's fine. Boros Elite's okay if you're super aggressive, which we are definitely not. So I think the pick's pretty clearly for us, Syndic of Tithes. Here we have interesting stuff. Again, maybe we should have been in red. It looks like the people to our right aren't in red and the people to our left aren't in red. So, although the rare's picked out of this pack, so I guess it doesn't really tell you a whole ton. Basilica Screecher also very good, so black would have been probably fine. So this is a pack full of red. I was hoping to pick up some very good Simic cards in this pack, but as of yet haven't really seen anything. That's okay. I mean, I guess I have a clinging anemones, but not going to be doing that right now. I think because of the slowdown in the format, and because right now our curves actually, I mean, these guys I'm going to consider the protect part, so I'm going to consider these like 3 drops, and then this guy, I guess I consider like a 6 drop. But I'm going to take the Urban Evolution. It seems a lot better now that the format's slowed down, and there's just nothing else really here for us, so I'll give that a try. Alright, so really no one is playing red. And this card is super good. So that's a bummer. I guess maybe at some point I should have switched over to red. I almost took that Punish the Enemy, and I guess if I would have taken Punish the Enemy and switched towards red at that point, maybe we'd be in better shape. But we didn't, and we're not switching to red now. So, we've got Spell Rupture is possible. Voidwalk, I think, has probably gotten a little better with. There's now more cards that would come into play effects. Like you could do, Deputy of Acquittals, flip a lot of stuff around, or if you have some other stuff that, I don't know, other stuff. We don't have any gates, so the Greenside Watcher isn't amazing. I think maybe the Debtor's Pulpit. We'll try to be kind of control-y. I don't know. It's not looking great at the moment. Especially, it just really looks like somehow I got in the wrong colors because there's Ember Beasts, even Syndicate Enforcer's okay. Call of the Nightwing's pretty good actually, and Kingpin's Pet is obviously very good. I mean, there's cards for us. Slaughterhorn is fine. It might be the pick here. Let's see. How are we looking? Yeah, 2, 2, and 2. But we're pretty evenly split. In fact, I mean, I'm hoping not to have to play that. But pretty evenly split around our 3 colors. It's between the Slaughterhorn and the Simic Flux Mage. I think the Flux Mage is probably what we want here. I like the Slaughterhorn, and we're going to need more creatures. But, I mean, we have 0/5s, which evolve. I'd like to get some evolve going, and at least this guy can pass around some counters a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. And again, I think Orzhov was probably my favorite Gatecrash guild, and in my 3 drafts now I haven't been black-white, and it seems odd, but I've seen a lot of the Extort guys, the black-white guys, Orzhov type cards in pack 2 going kind of late. I mean, not that it's super late, but I mean it's a 5th pick Kingpin's Pet. It's pretty late. But regardless, Core Street Denizen, we don't have a ton of white creatures. I think the pick here is pretty clearly Frilled Oculus, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, well, this is pretty Simic-y. Last Thoughts is fine. I would take either of these cards if the Shamble Shark wasn't there, but we'll just run the Shamble Shark. Okay, here we can get a Simic Guildgate, which might be the pick. Oozeflux is fine, but I don't think we don't have enough Evolve guys to really make this super good, I don't think. And, if I don't have a bunch of Evolve guys yet, I'm probably not going to have a bunch of Evolve guys, because it's getting a little bit late in the game here. Aerial Maneuver would be fine also. Snapjaw also okay. I'm going to take the Guildgate. Alright, here Ruscarab's fine. And Agoraphobia is semi-removal. I like it better than Spire Tracer, especially since I don't have any kind of way to make it better. And I need more removal. Even semi-removal is fine. I can actually play the Clinging Anemones. And I might... Which sideboard card do I want more is the question. A Naturalize or Spell Rupture? I'm going to take the Naturalize, I think. I've got quite a few tricks. And I think in the block now there's quite a few artifacts and enchantments that, like Armadillo Cloaks and things that are pretty okay. I'm not going to run 2 Debtor's Pulpits, so I'll just pull a Shadow Slice. I'm not going to play a Tower Defense. So, things aren't looking amazing at this point in time. I clearly must have misread some signals, which means the people to our left also probably misread signals, because we saw lots of red in pack 1, which means probably shouldn't see a bunch of red in pack 2 coming back the other way, but there still was. So I guess it was a lot of Boros red-white stuff, so I guess that's fine. Okay. I don't know that I can play an 11 drop. I don't think it's worth anything either. Yeah, half a ticket. I don't think I can run an 11 drop in draft, so I think I'm going to have to pass that one, unfortunately. Explosive Impact would probably be the second. Well, it's probably the best card in the pack. Maybe Rick's Mahdi would be right there too if you're in those colors. A lot of nothing really for us in this pack. It'll probably be the Golgari Longlegs. I wish I could run the World Spine Worm, and if you watch my Gatecrash drafts, I even went pretty deep a lot of times with my with my Gruul. I play like 7 and 8 drops, but 11's a different story. I don't really want to play Downsize or Crosstown Courier. Selesnya Sentry's not amazing. So we're even going to open a whole bunch of red and black cards. So the Longlegs is fine. I mean, Double Green's not amazing, but it's the card in the pack we can play. So, all right. Now we're talking a little bit. Our Selesnya cards hopefully are going to come through here for us. Tower Drake would be fine here, but it's not going to be our pick. It's either the Centaur Healer or the Call of the Conclave. Let's see how we're doing. 2 white by itself. 2 white, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 white. Then lots of blue-green. So we're mostly blue-green, and I would say we're blue-green splashing white at this point. And I don't even know if we need to play the Debtor's Pulpit, so we're mostly blue-green at this point. I almost certainly am going to play some white for the Protect half of this and for the Call half of this. Because of that, I think I'm going to take the Centaur Healer over the Call of the Conclave. This card's really good because you get a 3/3 for 2 and you can be aggressive early and you have a strong guy. But I'm not going to probably be there very often on turn 2, so the Centaur Healer's probably going to be better in this deck. Here I'm probably just going to take the Void Wielder. There's no fixing for us. Inaction Injunctions, Sultai, I don't like that much, so yeah, I'll play Void Wielder. Plus the 1/4, it'll evolve quite a bit of our guys. Wow, Stab Wound. I don't know, how's no one playing black? Really? No one wants to play Stab Wound to our right? Alright. I can't believe that made it 4 picks in. I think Grove of the Guardian actually might be the pick for us here. I mean, obviously it's susceptible to some removal, and we're not very white. We have 14 creatures. We need to pick some up. Hopefully one of these cards are Wheel. I'd be happy playing Sunspire, Eyes in the Skies, Courser's Accord, or even the Runewing. All of those would work good for us. But I'm going to take the Grove here and try to, have a way to win. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, Common Bond's pretty good. I don't have as many creatures as I'd like, and I already have quite a few combat tricks, but Swift Justice is also a combat trick, and Aerial Predation is good, but I mean, I wouldn't mind playing the Predation. I'd probably even main deck it, maybe. I haven't played enough of this format to know. The few decks I've had trouble with have had lots of flyers, but that's because I was Grixis. For us, I'm just going to take the Common Bond. Alright, I think Axebane Guardian is pretty much what we want. We're splashing some white. We don't have a ton of it, but this will also... I mean, it'll be the only card we have with Defender, except for maybe Murmuring Phantasm, unless I'm missing something. I guess Clinging Anemones, if I play it. I'm going to take it over the Tricks and over the Brush Strider. 3/1's fine for 2, but again, this isn't going to be very aggressive, I don't think, even though I do have several 2-drops. I think I'd rather play the Axebane Guardian here. I wish I had some more interaction with this other than maybe Void Wielder, but I don't. And that's about all I can say about that. I don't have a ton of enchantments, I don't think, for ethereal armor. I mean, a Deader Pulpit, that's it, right? Crisis Incubation. 2, 3 with Agoraphobia. It might be worth the ethereal armor. I'm not a huge fan of the Stonefair Crocodile, even though, I mean, I guess I do kind of need creatures. I can't use its secondary ability. I don't care about the Bazaar of Travad. Oh, yeah, what the hell? I'll play some ethereal armor. I don't think it's amazing in this deck. So here it's actually not a bad pick. Tresor Troll's good, but not taking that, obviously. It's between the Cellar and the Vassal Soul. They're both 3 drops. They're both in my colors. I mean, I'm more blue than white for the most part. You know, it's just a slightly worse Windrake, but still not bad. Or a Cellar. A Cellar works better with like a Void Wielder and a Deputy of Acquittals because of the 1/1. I'm still gonna take the Vassal Soul. That might have been wrong, but I don't know that it's clearly wrong. How am I doing here? Alright, well I got playables anyway. I could use creatures, although I don't think Crosstown Courier is really what I want. Druid's Deliverance is fine. Any of these 3 are fine, or I could Hate Draft and Electrickery, although other than a couple birds, which I guess I actually don't even have any birds, so I guess Electrickery is not that bad. I guess I'll take the Courier. I guess maybe the 3/2 with Regenerate, which might actually be possible for me, would work, but I want to take the lower drop. I'm going to try to hit a Grove of the Guardian, so yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to play Cancel, but I guess I can sideboard it. I could play Soul Tithe, I guess. Alright, so the Rune Wing did come back, so the Axebane Stag. I don't think I want to go 7 deep, especially if I'm going to try to be running some of these crazy guys. So the Rune Wing's fine. Alright. So I'll build this up and come back here with some of my final decisions and thoughts and such. Alright, I think these are the 23 I'm going to go with. I paid a little consideration to an ethereal armor, but I want to keep my creatures at 16. I like Crosstown Courier's fine, but I think I'd rather have the Blocker and the Murmuring Phantasm, and some of these other guys just have more upside, I think. The long legs I would definitely play, but I'm not that green, and I think the double green is going to cause me some issues, possibly. Maybe not with the Axebane Guardian, but I don't want to be holding this and not be able to play it. Like, I think I'd rather just have, you know, one of the other creatures, which I don't think are quite as good, possibly. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And Debtor's Pulpit I also thought about, be a little more control-y, but this deck, I'm not really sure how control-y I want to be. It's not super aggressive, but I'm not sure. I mean, I have a couple flyers and a couple ground guys. It seems like I'm going to have some trouble winning games, which is why I'm hoping the Grove of the Guardian helps out a lot, and I want to keep my creature count high. So that's why I'm not playing this or the Ethereal Armor. I don't want to go under 16 creatures. And then even though I like the long legs, I don't really want to be stuck not being able to pay for it. So I think it's okay sticking with like some of these other guys, which maybe aren't quite as good. Like a Clinging in Enemies, I could think about playing like this over Clinging in Enemies, but I want to be able to make sure I cast it. So let's see what they suggest here. 5/7/3, 3 with the Guildgate, so that's 4. I mean, definitely need blue and white. I get green actually ended up being a little bit more of a splash for me. I do want to be, I mean, if I can't play an Axebane Guardian, that's going to be bad. So I think I'm going to go 5/6/4, and that's a little bit sketchy on the mana, but that gives me 5 green, 7 blue, 5 white. Yeah, it's a little bit sketchy, but I think that's what I'm going to go with. And we'll see what happens. This is why I'm playing a Swiss, though. I am a little lost still in these drafts, and this deck doesn't look all that good to me, but possibly like solid enough to win a little bit. But I'll see you in round one. That's what we're going to go with.